promise to film this the same day, literally 2 seconds after filming the video games pickup vid, but I am doing the NFL recap here today. You're going to get a lot of noise in the background. That is Long Island is loud. But figured I'd get the recap done. I mean, I could have did it on Friday when we got back, but I'm tired as shit. This is going to be going up Thursday, but the divisional round is over, and we're set. The final four are set. We'll get into it. We'll start with the Saturday game, sorry. Chiefs beat the Texans, 23-14. People are losing their shit over this game. I don't know. I did not watch it. Officiating, people are calling for investigations. I didn't watch it. Skip Bayless was losing his cool about something, but I mean, that's part of the course. I said I didn't watch it. I don't know how bad the officiating was. But the Chiefs moved to like 7th straight AFC Championship. A lot of cars going by. So 23-14. C.J. Stroud goes for 245, no TDs, no picks. He sacked 8 times. Maybe don't get sacked 8 times. That wouldn't be a problem, right? No TDs, no picks. Mixon, 88 yards rushing and a TD. Did well. Stroud had 42 TDs. Mixon had a TD, did I say that? Collins, 81 yards receiving to lead the way on 5 catches. They have no fumbles. They have no picks. Anderson Jr. gets 2 sacks. They have 3 sacks as a team themselves. Their field goal kicker misses 2 field goals. And an extra point. I don't know how long these field goals were. But he did miss 2. But one was probably 50, at least 50 plus yards. The Chiefs, Mahomes 177 a TD and no picks. He sacked 3 times. They don't run the ball well as a team here, surprisingly. 22 for 50 as a team. Hunt leads the way with 44, but he does have a TD. Kelsey has a nice game, 117 yards, 7 catches, and a TD. Worthy hits 45. Mahomes and Perrin, number 81 and Mahomes each fumbled, but they did not lose any. 3 sacks from number 56, Karlaftis. And the other 5 sacks were by 5 different players, so the D stepped up, obviously. Their kicker was 3 for 3 on field goals and 2 for 2 on extra points. So the Chiefs move on as I think expected, right? We were playing cards on Saturday night, and we did watch this next game full. It was on the background. I wasn't completely paying attention to it, but the Washington Commanders, Redskins, Washington football team pretty much hammer the Lions 45-31. So, and I was saying this like all night. I'm like, hey, you either got to put the Lions in fraud territory, or I was saying, I'm like, this franchise, this loss, I think this is the first time they have ever been the number 1 seed. This loss could set this franchise back. All of a sudden, they're starting to get good, competing possibly for Super Bowl appearances, and then this loss could set them back. I hope it doesn't, but man, this game was going nuts at points. Like, big plays getting scored on both sides. But Washington just ends up taking it. They were too much. Jaden Daniels, 299, 2 picks, 2 touchdowns, no picks. 22-31. Robinson Jr. 77 yards rushing and 2 TDs. McNichols has a rushing TD. Daniels does rush for 51. He rushes 16 times on that. They were doing a lot of design plays and stuff. Daniels is the rookie of the year. Like, at this moment, he's better than Bo Nix. These Bronco fans saying, oh, but shut up. I said this already in another video. He's like, shut up. Proof is in the pudding. Daniels gets these playoff games. He's winning them. Now, yes, Bo Nix had to go to Buffalo, but Washington just went to Detroit and beat him up. So, I still think Bo Nix is good, but right now, Daniels is better. Like, stop. Okay, stop. If Bo Nix threw for like 4 TDs and they lost a shootout to the Bills. Fine. But it didn't happen, so. I don't want to hear it. Brown leads the way with 98 yards receiving for Washington. McLaurin has a receiving TD and 87 yards. Ertz had a receiving TD. They don't lose any fumbles. Armstrong has 2 sacks. They get 4 picks in this game, and one of them was, I'll talk about in a second when I get to the Lions. Number 0 has 2 picks. That's right, they did have a pick return for a touchdown as well by Martin. And Jeremy Chin has a pick as well. They miss a field goal, doesn't matter. An offensive display. The poor Lions. They're showing shots in the crowd of older Lions fans who've been dealing with this misery for years. Maybe they're old enough to have seen a NFL championship. I think they won a couple NFL championships, right? Goff, 313 yards, a TD, and 3 picks. He sacked twice. He wasn't great, honestly. And then Jameson Williams throws a pick. They were doing trick plays a bunch. He threw a pick. That was a weird, stupid play. That game, because the game was still fairly close. They got it. It was, I want to say it was 31-28. I think it was 31-21 they have, and then it was 31-28. And then Washington just got it done. Gibbs has an incredible game, 105 yards and 2 TDs. Jameson Williams did have a rush, an end around touchdown, rushing touchdown. St. Brown, 137 yards receiving. Laporte had the 1 receiving touchdown. It was an incredible catch. But every time they would get close, Washington would just, put an end to it. Goff lost a fumble as well. They get no sacks, so. That's a bad loss for the franchise. Because it's not like, example, like the Colts with Manning. He lost a lot of those divisional games when he should have probably won, right? But he also has won Super Bowls, went to Super Bowl. Same thing. I mean, you got it all when he was on Denver. 4 playoff appearances, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and 2 immediate first-round exits with home field advantage. So, but with the Lions, you gotta hope that does not set them back. They have to now be like, we have to come back. Like, how do you know? But that was an upset, no doubt about it. Washington's playing solid, though, man. Gotta give them that credit. And obviously the Lions have to be the frauds now. Somebody's always the fraud. On to the 2 Sunday games. Eagles beat the Rams 28-22. It was snowing pretty good in this game. We watched this one as well. That's the next one. Stafford had a nice little game, 324, 2 TDs, no picks. He was sacked 5 times. Williams has 106 yards rushing. Puka, 97 yards receiving to lead the way. Higbee has a receiving TD. Parkinson has a receiving TD. Cooper Kupp had 61 yards. Stafford fumbles twice and loses 1. Williams loses a fumble as well. 2 sacks from Verse. I mean, they sacked Hurts 7 times. Actually, yes. Back to the other game real quick. Goff did get banged up briefly, and is it Terry Bridgewater? No, is it? Teddy Bridgewater, not Terry. Teddy Bridgewater came in briefly. They get 7 sacks here. No picks. The Eagles were up big, and then all of a sudden they gave a touchdown, and they were like, oh my God, are they going to blow this game? The Eagles fans would have lost their shit if they did. Jalen Hurts, 128 yards, no TDs, no picks. He is sacked 7 times. Barkley goes nuts in this game. He had 2 massive runs for TDs, 205 yards, 2 TDs. Hurts ran for 70 yards and a touchdown as well. Goddard led the way with 56 yards receiving. No fumbles. They get 2 sacks from Carter and then 3 other sacks from other players. It was a snowy game, so guys are getting crushed. Jake Elliott was 3 for 3. But Eagles get the dub, so we got Eagles and Commanders on one side of the field. One side of the field. In the NFC, Eagles will probably be like 4 or 5 point favorites, I would guess. It is noisy, man. I hope it doesn't ruin the video too much. And the night game. Bills beat the Ravens 27-25. We did watch this one as well. It's the most football I've watched in a long time, and honestly, it wasn't that enjoyable. I was like, yeah, football. You know, like, I will say the Redskins Detroit game. I'll just call them whatever the fuck. I got Redskins, whoops, Commanders, anything but the Washington football team. That was at least exciting game stuff was happening. The other games are fine, but it's like I just don't care to watch football. I really don't. They win 27-25, so they will be meeting the Chiefs again. Question is, will the Bills get it done this time? I would say no. They have not proven they can. And if the refs... No, I'm just kidding. This was a pretty tight game. Lamar Jackson has 2 TDs and a pick, 254 yards. He's sacked twice. Henry has 84 yards rushing on 16 carries. They stopped running him for some reason in TD. They ran for 176 yards to the team. Likely and Bateman had the receiving TDs, with Likely leading the way with 73 yards. Andrews and Jackson both lose fumbles. This guy, Mark Andrews, fumbled once. He got punched out. But he dropped the game-tying 2-point conversion. Pure butterfingers, man. It was bad. It was in the script, though, apparently. I love how everybody's like, the script says. I love it. It's so ridiculous. I love it, though. I like that kind of goofiness. They only got 1 sack as a team. It was just a decent, solid game. It was snowing there, too, but not much at all. Josh Allen, 127, no TDs, no picks. He's sacked 1 time. Cook runs for 67 yards. Ray Davis has a rushing touchdown. Allen has 2 rushing touchdowns, so he steals some rushing TDs. Shakir had 67 yards receiving to lead the way. They weren't doing much. They got the turnovers, though. That was the thing. They get 2 sacks from 2 different people. They get a pick from Rapp. Kind of a little kind of sludgy type game, if you want to call it that. They like moving through sludge at points. There's some nice plays, though, going on. But now Baltimore gets that, oh no, is Jackson ever going to win a title? It's a tough call, though, going on to Buffalo. So we got Bills, Chiefs, Washington, Detroit. That Washington Eagles game, in my opinion, is a toss-up. You know, I'm going to throw it out there and say Washington gets there again. First time. It's their first NFC championship since the 91 season. 92 playoffs was the 91 season. I remember that one. Mark Ribbon. Was it Ernest Biner? Was Art Monk still on the team? Gary Clark, were those guys still there? Who was the third guy? They had a third guy, I thought. Another receiver that was good, didn't they? Gerald Green would have been on that team. Mark Ribbon, what was the other? I thought they had another receiver that was solid. I can't remember. They played the Bills and beat them in the Super Bowl. So maybe we have a rematch, but this time it's the Commanders, not the Redskins. I'm gonna say Washington takes that one. I'm gonna say it's a tight game, but Washington gets it done. Daniel's rookie year, going in the Super Bowl. Can you imagine? They got a solid team, man. I think they would. Obviously, this game, either one of these games could go either way, I would think, but I'm gonna say Washington in an upset. Like 27-24. As for the Bills and Chiefs, honestly, I'm going to say the Chiefs, even though, in my opinion, the Bills are the better team. doesn't mean shit. Because the Chiefs have beaten them 3 times in a row in the playoffs. Josh Allen and the Bills have not proven they could beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, either in Buffalo or in Kansas City. So, I'm going to say, could the Bills win? Obviously they could. I would not be shocked at all if they did. If the refs have their way, they'll obviously lose. I'm kidding. But seriously, like, the reason I would pick the Chiefs is because the Bills have not proven they could beat them in the playoffs. They've had 3 times. The first 2 are in KC. Last year, right? It was in Buffalo, and they still lose. Buffalo has to get past this team. If they do not beat them this year, just pray Mahomes decides to have an early retirement, because you're not getting past them at that point. You're not doing it. It's going to be a good game, I think. I think it's going to be a close one. But honestly, you have to go with the Chiefs because the Bills have not proven they can do it. They got to do it now. Got to do it this year. I'm gonna say it's a kind of a slog. I'm gonna say it's like a 20 to like 17 type game. Maybe not. I'll be completely off. Like I said, I'll be probably wrong on these. It's gonna be Eagles and Bills. But I do think you can't pick against the Chiefs because, especially against the Bills. I would have even said the Ravens too, but until these teams beat him, I mean, who's he only lost to? Mahomes. There's no Brady to save the day because Brady beat him with 2 different teams. Brady beat him when he was on the Patriots, and then he beat him in the Super Bowl. Their teams beat each other, right? The quarterbacks aren't playing. And Burrow beat him once. That's why I thought it was funny. The Chiefs are like, oh, the Bengals are like, we're scared. The Chiefs were scared. That's why they rested their guys and let them win. It's like, how about Bengals? You win more than 9 games. You're a better team than that. How about you don't start off 4-8? You know, that kind of annoys me. It's like, really? The Chiefs are afraid of you. They beat you once too. It's, what? Come on now. That shit annoys me. Because if you were that good, you would have made the playoffs, right? You wouldn't have been as bad. You wouldn't have been 9-8. The fact that they didn't have like 12 wins, that's on them. But yeah, I mean, I would sit here and say that's the toughest matchup for the Chiefs outside of the NFC. I mean, the Chiefs are literally playing out exactly like the Patriots did, which is weird, right? Winning a bunch of Super Bowls quickly. The games are typically always tight, right? And stuff. But like the Patriots, the Chiefs know how to win, and they just continue to know how to win. And these other challengers come in, the Bills, the Ravens, they fail. They don't have that winning edge. These NFC teams, San Francisco can get it done last year. The first time they played the Chiefs, they were up like 10, but that was going into the 4th, and then the Chiefs ended up ripping them up. And the Eagles-Chiefs game was pretty close, right? That was a close one as well. That's why it was so shocking that the Bucs blew out the Chiefs. Really kind of destroyed them all game. But that's because the Brady was still Brady. So he was like, no, Mahomes, you will not beat me. Or maybe the script told them the Bucs would win. But seriously, I think it's going to be... I'm going to say Chiefs and Washington. Kansas City, Washington. That's a nice, interesting Super Bowl. We've already seen Kansas City Eagles, so that would be a rematch. The Bills and the Commanders would be a rematch, but not with many of the same players. It'd be a franchise rematch. But yeah, on to the championship games. And yeah, thanks for checking this out.